And to all you people back in the Shire, turn your porch lights off because we're coming home with a trophy.
Hey there, welcome to SharkCast Pty Ltd, a podcast dedicated to the greatest sporting club, not tonight, in the history of the world, the mighty Cronulla Sharks. Sharks losing 27 points to 8 as a quick spoiler. The show is brought to you by Dyson Logistics, the Royal Mighty Yacht Club and Port Hacking, and Jason Hawes at Cripps and Cripps Real Estate. I'm Sam Shinazi. I'm an OG from 2015, 12th season of doing it. Nights like tonight make it tougher. Really disappointing game. Discipline out the window. Completely disappointed in that side of things. If you take the discipline out of it, and if you hold that ball, you're probably going to win the game or go close to it. It was not as lopsided on as far as playing as what the score would suggest, but the discipline, 9 penalties to 4, and 3 set restarts to 2 in our favor, was just nowhere near good enough. We ended up with 82% possession, but in the first half, we only got into their opposition 20-meter line. I don't know if we did in the first half. I'll have to look that up. Anyway, interesting all around. Love to hear your thoughts on it. There's a StreamYard link if you want to jump in and have your call. No swearing, of course, but everything else will be tolerated. All right. Sharky Boy Gonzalez says, tough watch with some tough calls. 3 out of 4 is still not bad. We go on. We're definitely going on. That's the good news. My man Josh Bolling has been into me about the tough calls tonight. We've been disagreeing about that, but I'm open to hearing about all the tough calls. But, here's Danny. Danny says, before I go off, early to think that the Sharks forwards had no intensity in the Sharks outside backs. Can't defend. Can't blame Hines and Kennedy for that. Okay. So there's no blaming Hines and Kennedy. That's good. But yeah, lackluster in a lot of ways, Danny. Thank you. JFM says, unfortunately, I think our poor discipline tonight was the issue, and I completely agree with that. Sean does say we couldn't get the rub of the green. Thank you for that, Sean. Drew says, Will's been good this year. The reason he'd never be elite is he makes errors in big games at big stadiums. Going set in the first half, he makes unforced errors. Very unfortunate. I agree with that, Drew, completely. You won't hear me defend Will about those things, but tonight I don't know if that cost them things. It didn't help, but I don't know if the errors were the problem tonight, team-wide. But I appreciate you saying that, and it wasn't one of his better games. I'm with Wes here. Strange game. It was a strange game. Hello to everyone on the Insta. Hello to everyone worldwide. Love you guys and girls tuning in. I'm here for a little while, so don't be shy. Don't be a stranger. The only thing I ask is everything above board. We're not going to go for cheap shots and gutter shots. Be as critical as you want. You can say it on this show. I know you think you can't, but you can. But just be fair about it. That's all. Jay says, defensively for most of the night, the boys were really good. Yeah, there were some one-on-ones here or there. However, Ronaldo's poor discipline and didn't have a great game. Brayley struggled to get in the front foot, and in turn meant lack of dummy half runs and not playing on the front foot. Yeah, I don't know if Blake was the problem there, though, Jay, because I thought it was more the forwards, not necessarily forwarding. I thought Blake was fine. I didn't think the arm was an issue, and yeah. Their forwards were great. I don't know Nafu White. We'll just get it out of the way now. AJ Luke Antonio, if you're watching this now or later on, we know why you love him. It's all good. Some criticism for Ash Klein. Always seems to be a little harsher on teams who aren't disciplined. Michael says Hines is back. Was that good or bad? I mean, he had a good try assist. I don't think Nico was necessarily a problem there as well, but we can go through all of it, I promise. But I just thought overall the discipline was really, really stinky. Jacqueline says, opinion on game plan when we eventually got possession. Targeting Marky Mark and not Tommy T on the other side. Yeah, it's a good point, Jacqueline. Thank you for raising that. They were really going for it, Marky Mark and Ronaldo. It was neck and neck for a while, and then it all just went Marky Mark's way. And I do think that that's where tonight you do wonder whether Ronnie pushes it too far on nights like tonight, because I just thought tonight wasn't the night to do it. Like, we just got to play smart and hold the ball and win the game. But he just made himself a target. End of the game, he's on report. We love him to death. And we know that this is what he can do, but it's just disappointing when he does it. Doesn't do that. It doesn't go pear-shaped that often anymore, but tonight it definitely did for Ronnie. Big fortnight after the bye with 2 Queensland games. Yeah, we'll get to that. Thank you very much. Okay. Matt says, interesting game, better set completion. Yeah, the set completion for a while was really good. Silly errors at the wrong times, no go forward. The snooze discipline was there. Ronnie needs to pull his head in. I mean, he does just a little bit, not completely, but just a little bit. I like Jacqueline's point, though, about not targeting Tommy much. Dennis says it's not the first time they've targeted and baited Ronnie and got him again. It does go back and forth a bit. Craig says stupid penalties and mistakes again against the top team. And for me, that's where it kind of starts and finishes. And we can go for individuals, we can go for collectives, but that's a collective. Let's just really poor timed penalties, poor timed errors. And even when it was sort of still tight, it was 14-8, you knew that you had to improve your game in that area, and you didn't. It kind of went worse. So I'm a believer that if you hold the ball in this game tonight, you go close or you win. So it's a bit frustrating. Future Dude says, bad week to be sorting the show. I'll try again. Bad week to be supporting the Sharks, the Blues, and the Socceroos, especially with the questionable calls by the ref in each of those games. Future Dude, I was one of the millions that got up for the Socceroos. And I have to tell you, I wasn't down for long because I finished well late and I got up. Woe is me. Yeah, bad refereeing, but I thought the Socceroos performance was worse than what we saw tonight. Anyway, Pete says we were never in the game before the Nico haters start up. They need to take a look at how ineffective his halves partner was. We were terrible, but the great display of hometown officiating as well. Yeah, I mean, I think a bunch of that is, I will agree with Pete. I didn't think Trindle was that bad. They both had a couple of assists, or an assist each, I should say. I think on your point of the hometown officiating, that's why if I'm sending them in to play, I'm telling Ronaldo to sort of tone it down. You're not going to win a lot of those battles. And you're not going to win a lot of those things. Like we saw the challenge for the Marky Mark drop from the dropout. And the challenge must have been like 40 seconds after it happened. And they allowed it. I'm with you, Pete and Josh and everyone else on that kind of officiating. That was really weird. And it's 10 seconds. And that was easily 30 seconds, I would imagine. So there was some kooky stuff. And I like your last point, Pete. I like it, don't like it. We were terrible, but it was a great display of hometown officiating. I'll give you that one. Wes says no quality ball in the first half. The rest was just not good enough with discipline. Yeah, very well said. Matt says they weren't even there at all. That's disappointing. Our mate PK, hope you're well, sir. A week too early for Brayley, 3 runs in 80 minutes. If he doesn't run, we don't play off the back foot. Yeah, someone else said that before. I thought it was more to do with the forwards, not necessarily getting the advantage line as opposed to that, PK, but I'm happy to take that on board and check it out in the replay and give you a bit more analysis. I agree with what you're saying, but I wonder if there's another reason why. I don't think it had anything to do with the arm because he was tackling. He didn't look out of place. Let me just check out a few things on foxsports.com.au. Brayley. He made 40 tackles in this too. His arm can't be too bad, you know? So I don't know if that affects the running and everything. I know it could be more what you're saying, like he's out of the game 3 or 4 weeks, etc. But yeah, I don't know. Flynn has a joke about Klein, which I won't put up, but I appreciate that. And he says, or they say, seriously, we look flat. Dan Fitz says, terrible, poor performance, already up against it with bad reffing, no field position. 35 minutes before a tackle was made in the opposition 20 and Ronnie lost the plot. Yeah, it's a pretty accurate way of describing it. It was hard. It was hard with all that kind of thing. Like they were actually doing okay because they were defending okay. They eventually got back into it before half time on the bell. And they came out in the second half and looked the better team. And then they had that spark where they kicked off after a try and got the ball back, and that was the first half. Sorry, yeah, but yeah, it was going to be hard anyway. Ash says, "Go Southo Sharks FC. They won yesterday. Congratulations." Daniel says, "I know Ron did a lot of talk and didn't get the results. 5 Roosters around him and not push back from any other players to help Ronnie really frustrated me." Yeah, that's a good point. That's a good point. Maybe that was what we needed. They did the kind of this origin thing where it's just like 6-on-6 kind of battle or whatever, and then maybe they're off their game. But yeah, that's a good point. I just feel like with Ronaldo, and I'm torn because we know that's what drives him, that kind of play. And we know that danger where he can push it a bit too far. But I feel like tonight, given his maturity in age, in growth, in playing, in experience, there's got to be a point where he goes, I pushed it a bit too far. I'm going to tone it down. I felt like at moments in the game he was trying, and then it just kind of couldn't become true. He'll chalk that up and he'll come back bigger and better. It's just a shame that tonight that contributed to us as far as tries conceded, as far as field position, etc. Like it was definitely played a part. John says, not the result we wanted, but we'll be back. I really struggle with Klein's refereeing, down 4-0 and 1-0 at halftime. Yet 3 of the penalties were marginal. Not Ronnie's best night. We'll fight on, up. Thanks, John. Yeah, I think, and my colleague Josh as well was saying things like they were marginal and line ball. And I get all that, but you're the away team, and it's not how it goes, but you know that's the risky business of it all. So Chris says, tough game to watch. We've got another bye next week. Thanks, Chris. that's what's kind of annoying too. I'm kind of over going into buys losing to the Roosters. All right, over to the Insta, our friends over there. Dylan says Marky Mark needed that revenge game after Militala scored a double and knocked him out of the finals last year. Yeah, absolutely. I get that. Jay was frustrated that no one was helping Wilton out on the break late in the game. And the difference there was in the last 3 weeks, Nephi Peru was backing up, which is a good point. Brad says discipline was not good enough. They were patient and punished us for dumb mistakes. Yep, absolutely. Thank you. My nephew is online after being at our house tonight watching the game, which is exciting. Okay. Thank you very much to everyone there. Just a reminder, if you want to dial in, you have the ability to. There's no pressure to do so tonight. Everyone's probably over everything after that performance. Roosters win 27-8. Scorigami or whatever it's called. So, Sharks now sit in 8th position. We have a bye next week. We could have moved up to 4th or 5th, but now the Roosters are in 4th or 5th. And that's how tight this comp is. And that's what kind of sucks about tonight. 27-8. We go down. Team stats. They completed at 86%. We completed at 82%. So it wasn't terrible. Line breaks were even. They had twice as many offloads, and that was super noticeable in the first half, especially it led to some tries. We're actually pretty good at not conceding offloads this year. We're in the top 3, but tonight it was just a bit too much. They ran for about 400 more meters. They had 100 more post-contact meters. Both missed tackles are really respectable and close, so that's fine. They won the penalty count 9-4. Errors were the same. That's surprising. Tackled an opposition 20 evened out a lot. And we won the set restarts 3-2. And I'm just going to look at my phone for a second while I talk to you beautiful people. The Rooster man who's been on the show this week, Aaron Wallywall, said, not the best game, but I'll take the win. And he was sitting in the Fox Sports corporate box, if I'm allowed to say so. We'll get to some individual players shortly and how they went. Terry said poor discipline cost us, but the reality was the Roosters looked the better team all night. They did, but I thought Terry went with them. We hung tight. We conceded a couple tries. They missed the goals. It was 8-0. It was doable. At 14-8, I wasn't completely uncomfortable with that situation, but you just couldn't keep playing the way they were playing, and they did. Brett says errors and penalties cost us. Nico was fine. Great try system putting Teague through. Yeah, Nico was fine. He'll get better probably with more time on the field. NRL Merseyside Reds gave him too much ball. Some decisions seemed unlucky at the ground, but with that many penalties and unforced errors, you have to look inward. I agree on that point. We were dominated by marking Mark, dust off and be better. Great points. And I think that is not my running argument with Joshy, because we never argue, but unforced errors have to make you look inward. And I love that line from NRL Merseyside Reds. That is why we have the best podcast audience in the world. You people, guys and girls, boys and girls, men and women of all ages, of all genres of podcasts, you are the best audience in the world, and don't you forget it, led by this person who said you have to look inward. Here's trouble. Lush from Melbourne. Fuming. Oh, okay. The Roosters are offside so much of the night, sometimes 5-6 meters offside. The amount of forward passes they got away with, the amount of flying elbows. But when Ronaldo does it, it's a penalty. You know who I'm blaming for the poor field position all game. I appreciate that. I have a slightly different take on that one. I mean, we saw Katoa absolutely take out Tedesco, and they we didn't get in trouble for that. Like it wasn't as one-sided, I don't think, as you think, sir. I did see some forward passes from both teams, to be fair. Like I honestly did. I'm not just saying that to be like the podcast dude or whatever. But I take your point, sir. I do. And you know I like your points. You got good points, Lush. Shake also says, and here we go, 2 great people in a row. I never whinge about refs, but that was atrocious. So maybe there's something there that I'm not seeing. I appreciate that. Sharks premiership winning. Sharks premiership coming again. Oh, no, I didn't want to put that up. They do say, though, that we have top 4 chances and we blew it, and they let us down. Oh, here we go. Here he is. AJ Luke Antonio. Good game, Shinazi. A lot of love, legends. So that's AJ. He is, I don't know how to pronounce his first name. I should know. White. Nifa White. He is his biggest fan in the world. This guy, so I work with AJ, and AJ, he'll say, hello, Shanaz, how are you? And then he'll start talking about Nifa White for hours on end, no matter what the time. And the way I feel about Valentine Holmes, especially when he was a Shark, that's how AJ feels about this guy. So we're happy to inform you that he's a really good player, and he was really good tonight. And we knew that coming into it. We knew that his aggression and his speed of the play of the ball would cost us, and it definitely did. Hope you're well, AJ. Danny said, I'll add the Roosters got away with laying in the play of the ball, holding the ball in the ruck. Ash Klein likes to keep the crowd happy. Okay. Cam gets in the way, says Shake 20. I'll throw this one up just because Lush makes me laugh. It's almost like there's a photo. Oh, jeez. Lush says it's almost like there's a photo out there circulating of Klein and DCE chumming it up off the clock. Oh, Lushy Lush. I'll see you around 27, man. If not before. I played a gig in Melbourne last week. You should have come. I'm going to play again there as soon as I can. You got to come down. Dion says the reffing fairly favored the Chooks tonight. Thanks, Dion. Ash says, I didn't go to the game as I was at work, but heard it was pretty disappointing, but onwards and upwards. Love your work, mate. On the podcast, keep it up. You're an inspiration of a legend to everyone. I think many people would disagree with that, Ash, but I will certainly take your praise, and I appreciate it very much. Have a good night at work. Prancer says Jesse was ordinary, and I'm well, I need more information there, Prancer. We've got 2 Jessies. So Jesse Ramian ran for 115 meters, couple of offloads, 1 error, about 15 tackles. Jesse Colquhoun, 9 runs, 70 meters, 1 offload, 32 tackles. Maybe you're referring to him. Pete says AFB was pedestrian tonight. I don't know. 9 runs, 86 meters. Excuse me. 3 tackle busts, 25 tackles, no misses. Certainly not bustling and dominating tonight, was he? Pete also says the same thing compared to the opposition as well. Let me go with our mates over on the Insta. And thanks everyone for tuning in. Got to say that from the bottom of my heart. Thanks for tuning in. And it's tough on nights tonight, but you guys and girls make it fun. That's for sure. Okay. Jake says, fair income. What was that? Which it was a game of footy. We lost. Jay says, thanks for all the work you do now to go watch the latest episode of From. Hope you get Clinton on soon. Yeah, Clinton will be on soon. We're just working out a few things there, sir, but we're just, bit of, just a bit of small fine print, but we'll get Clinton on, no worries. Tell me about what From is. I don't know what that is, and I should know. Thanks, everyone, for joining and jumping on. Chad says Marky Mark schooled Ronnie. Hero made 2 defensive errors. Nico's a great player, but never worth the money. Kennedy's been great, but average tonight. A lot to take in there, Chad. Marky Mark definitely schooled Ronnie. Hero definitely had a couple of defensive reads. Nico's a great player, but never worth the money. I mean, I thought tonight he did a lot, and I don't know what else he could have done given the fact that they weren't in their territory much. Kennedy has been great, average tonight. I would agree with that. Yep, I didn't think he was particularly good tonight. There were some good moments. There were some bad moments. All right. Sharks lose 27-8. Scott says, I thought we were okay, but not great. There were some strong periods in the game from us. The Roosters were uncharacteristically disciplined. They put on a very strong performance. Well, that's very mature of you, Scott. And I tend to agree. I really was disappointed with the discipline night, not just one man, just in general. Some of the dummy half penalties and the offsides and inside the 10s. You can avoid that kind of thing. Trish, with her eye on the prize, said, spoke to Blake after the game. He said his arm is fine. The boys seemed very down. So that's some great reporting there from Trish. I appreciate it. Thank you very much. That's good that his arm is fine. I thought he played pretty good for a guy with a broken arm or whatever. I know there wasn't a lot of running, and I appreciate that, but I thought tonight maybe other people might have lifted along with him, and we'll get to some individual players shortly. Jaden says, aside from Klein, AFB was terrible when we needed our marquee prop to take it to their pack. We definitely needed someone, sir, and you're right. It wasn't a great night from AFB. And that was maybe the difference, the forwards. I mean, Collins and White were superb. They really were. White with over 200 meters. Even Spencer Leniu was pretty good as well. And that guy doesn't know what the word discipline means, but he was all right. Luci's back, and he says, low key, if we played terribly, I'd be annoyed for different reasons. We weren't terrible. We weren't great, but the Roosters were equally as average. We were taken out of that game by a third party, and it's infuriating. So Luci's doubling down on the ref stuff. I haven't changed my mind, Luci, since I read out your first comment. I don't 100% agree with you. I think that we created a lot of our own problems. I understand the Roosters might have got away with some stuff, and I'm not condoning that. But I think a lot of our things were sort of brought on by ourselves. I do. I mean, it just seemed like we were our own worst enemy tonight. It didn't seem like the ref was. That's my opinion. Chad says there were some bad calls, but overall we were out enthused and made too many silly mistakes, dumb plays. Their defense gave us nothing. A horrible, flat performance from us. Future Dude says the next 5 games after the bye will be critical. It'll determine the top 8 for us. Back-to-back Brisbane games. Both sides of Origin will be challenging. The one thing I was thinking was we don't mind our backs against the wall. So the harder we make it, I think the better we'll kind of lift. And I don't want to be in that situation. I hate that situation. I want to be like winning every game. So yeah, there's some tough games coming up and some tough road trips. And that's why tonight would have been good, because you would have been 5 in a row with a bye, which is 6 in a row. That would have been outstanding. It wasn't meant to be. Ghastly says, the heck is up with the ref? I didn't know Trinder was in attendance tonight, but they overcomplicated the attack too much. Defense was fine. Hard to hold on when they can't get a thing from Klein. Okay. Thank you. Danny says, another frustrating game from a frustrating performance, disappointing performance going to the bye. Yep, completely agree. I think we start looking at long-term and players like Stone Street, who's there next year. I don't think Katoa was that bad. Explain that bit to me at the end, Danny, because I don't know what that means. We start looking at long-term and players like Stoney, who's there next year. So you're saying you throw Stoney in, but then you also say you don't think Katoa was that bad, and he wasn't that bad tonight at all. He scored a try, didn't miss any tackles, ran for over 100 meters, busted 5 tackles, 1 offload, 1 line break, 1 error. He was fine tonight, I thought. But yeah, let me know what that means. Sorry if I'm a bit behind here. Blues Force said the amount of offloads by the Roosters was unacceptable at any level. First half in particular, Blues 4, I would definitely agree with that. All right. Sharks lose 27-8. Name not important. Losing twice to a team coming from Origin is very poor. This team are not contenders. They fail when they should stand up. The tackles all over the place. I won't mention the ref for a reason. Let's not forget that it's the first game we've lost in a month or more. So hasn't been going that bad. But yeah, tonight was not very good. Scott says AFB looks like he's playing within himself. He's still damaging, but it looks like he has more to give. Oh, I hope he gives more, that's for sure. Anthony says, I'm not a Hines hater, but Trindle isn't himself when they're together. Wilton was our best tonight. Teague was good. Teague was really good. Thanks for raising that, Anthony. He ran for over 100 meters, 36 tackles. He busted a bunch of tackles as well, had some offloads. He was really good, and he's been good all year. I know you're not a Hines hater, and that's awesome. We don't want any hate in this team, but I mean, tonight it's interesting because obviously Trindle's off his game. Hines was the better half. They both were not where we needed them to be. I just wonder, can we blame Hines on the fact that Trindle had an off game, or is it just a Trindle thing? I don't know why we have to lump it together. I understand why, from a stats point of view or whatever, it makes sense. The games he plays, the games he doesn't play, I get all that. But I wonder if there's a possibility, Anthony, that it's not related to Nico. It's just Trindo had an average game. I don't know. Danny says AFB is playing differently this year compared to last year, not as impactful. And it feels like 2024 with no dominant forward. Miss Toby Rudolph out there tonight, I thought. Dan makes a really good point. He said they had 7 Origin players, 6 or 7, backing up. They seem to have more energy than us. Desco is in freak mode to the point where it's starting to get annoying. The guy just doesn't stop. And he's missing half his face and he's still going. Come on, man. I get it. Sharks let me down again, person. I'm not going to keep throwing up the Klein betting stuff. I know you can see it in the comments. I'm not picking on you, sir or madam, but I'm not going to pick on a guy because he had a gambling problem. It's not how I roll. You can keep writing it, and I'm not offended by it, but I'm not going to chuck it up. Wesley says, the podcast dude. Love that, Sam. I said that a while ago. I must be behind on the comments. I'm the podcast dude. That's how I always just sort of talk myself down. The podcast dude. Andrew says, not enough discipline tonight, but the ref did not like us. Up, Cronulla. Penalties 4-0 against us at half time. Yeah, it wasn't good, Andrew. It wasn't good on both points there. Thank you so much. I need to do something quickly in admin world. Tate says 4 from 4 this year without Nico, 11 from 12 without Nico the last 2 years. It's either his team or Trindle's. It can't be both. Okay, I take that point. I know where those points come from, Tate. I'm not denying those numbers. I'm not convinced it's necessarily a thing. Like, I know it's a thing we can talk about because it's there in black and white. I get that. But tonight, would you blame the halves? I don't know. I mean, I thought our outside backs and our forwards. I don't know if the halves, I don't know if the spine was the problem, really. I'm just looking something up online while I talk to you wonderful people. Roger says the ref controlled field position and the Roosters result tonight. Not happy with that. Sharks defended well, but poor discipline cost the Sharks any momentum. They did well despite the calls. I agree with some of that. Roger, thanks for being in touch. Much appreciated. Again, I thought a lot of the calls were justified. It doesn't mean the Roosters not having the same calls made is not justified, but yeah, I take that point. Now, Brendan says, I thought we missed Toby's energy tonight. I thought so as well. I did. And that was noticeable with Jesse Colquhoun. Someone pointed out tonight, I'm never going to say a bad word about Jesse Colquhoun, but he was not as dominant tonight, I didn't think. Let me do this as well. Name Not Important says, when we're making signings, this team's obviously not winning anything anytime soon. The ref should be banned. Enough with the ref stuff, as in the personal bashing of this guy having a addiction problem. When are we making signings? We're re-signing people. Young kids are coming through. They are the future. They're definitely the future. And I think you'll see some sort of minor to medium signings for the Sharks. I don't think there's anyone huge coming on the way as far as I'm aware. So, for against. A lot of people have been asking me about the record with the referee tonight and penalties and win losses and that kind of thing. So I can tell you that we've lost 2 more games than we've won under Klein, under Craig Fitzgibbon. Make that 3 probably. So 3 less games we've won. So we've lost 110, lost 13 against Klein under Fitzy. And we average probably 1 penalty less than the opposition average against the ref. So it's nothing horrific. Tonight, I can't explain a lot of the stuff, but as far as a campaign that this ref doesn't like us is a bit silly. Lush says something personal. Just messing with you, dude. Just messing with you. I love you. Malcolm says Scott's probably frustrated because nobody ever supports him. Oh, you have to catch me up there. I don't know what that means. Lush is talking about From. It's amazing. Similar concept to Lost. Okay, I'm listening. But without the broadcast network getting involved to ruin the story. If you like mystery, soft horror, suspense, it's fantastic. I don't like mystery. I don't like soft horror. I don't like suspense, but I love Lost. So you might have me there. Shake says, I wish some of the players that were leaving now instead of the end of the year. Beats Ray is a good point. Do you think the Warriors game might have taken more out than we thought it might have? I think that it definitely did. Now, that's not a reason for me because they've had 8-day turnaround. 8-day technically, obviously. There's travel and that kind of stuff. But it was one of the most physical games I've seen in recent memory. Like, they bashed the absolute crap out of us and we did back to them. So it was big, it was emotional, but You got to be better than that. But I take your point, Pete. It's a good point you raise. Ed says, From is like Lost, not worth the investment. The yellow man is Ashley Klein, a terrible devil. Malcolm does say we had 9 days rest, Pete. Wesley says we were as flat as a 2-week-old opened Pepsi. Ed was at the game and he said the stadium is fantastic. The Sharks, not so much. It's a good stadium, hey? We talked about that during the week. Okay, Pete says offloads, penalties killed us and our chances tonight. Clevo says sad about the loss, but happy we're getting some Lost love on the pod. My all-time favorite show. I didn't know it was your all-time favorite show. That isn't Larry David involved. Well, we should talk about Lost. We should do a Lost podcast. It would go forever. And then he says, yes, the Lost hate from Ed wasn't appreciated, which I'm a huge Ed guy, but don't give me any, I love Lost. Come on. The acting in Lost, the direction, the cinematography. I get it, got a bit kooky. I get that. I get it. Thailand Cronulla Sharks supporters group, give them a follow on the Facebook. Our friend there's posting a lot of content. It was a lack of enthusiasm and intent, an attitude problem. When they get that right, fix up the errors, we'll be fine. Yeah, it's an easy fix. I'll give you that. Yeah, thank you. Shake says the Roosters have been one of the most penalised teams for years, but now their first game back in a month at home, they were super disciplined. Give me a break. Lush says at least one Shark was fantastic tonight. You, Sam, the best post-game therapist, have called me down a lot, calmed me down a lot. Appreciate you, brother. I appreciate you. I appreciate all the brothers and sisters in the SharkCast universe. I'm fired up. I want to do that game again. I can't believe we lost. It sucks. And now I'm not got no energy from that rant. Blake Bradley for life says Muletai did what he always does. It just didn't work tonight. And I appreciate that. I do. And that's a really simplistic, but I say that with compliment. Like that's a really good way of putting it. And I did sort of hint that we know what we're getting. When it works, it works. When it doesn't, it doesn't. So I'm not trying to change the guy, but it was a bit of a difference tonight, I have to say. Kevin says the Roosters have 7 Origin players plus Klein on their side. Thank you, Kevin. Now, Dickie says that's a lot. It's covering up my whole face, Dickie, which isn't a bad thing, but I'm going to lean up here. This is getting out of control. Dickie said we didn't turn up with the defensive attitude we needed tonight, and we lost the middle battle and didn't have the line speed. We couldn't stop the big blokes offloading. I have no doubt Blake Brayley came back early and struggled defensively all night. I'm one of his biggest fans, but I feel he would have been better coming back after the bye. Oh, hang on a sec. Dickie? That's your name, Dickie. I know I'm not being rude. You're saying that he struggled defensively all night. I've got him missing 2 tackles from 40. 40's our most well, actually, Britain made a couple more tackles. I don't think he struggled all night defensively, Dickie. I also don't think he came back early. So I had a lot of mail this week about people's thoughts on Nico and Blake coming back before the bye, and I loved every single one of them. I loved the feedback and the communication from you guys and girls is awesome. But I have to say, I thought it was a bit OTT. Like, the club is not going to let their top 5 players who are so crucial to the rest of the year come back before a bye if they're not ready. Like, it's just not going to happen. Tonight was not a must-win game. They're not going to let them come back if they're early. Blake Brayley came back quicker than what a normal person will with a broken arm, but he was ready. Like, he was medically cleared. Nico Hines was ready, medically cleared. That's the end of the line. It's the bottom line, as Stone Cold Steve Austin would say. Like, that's it. So I know there's a lot of people who are worried about it, and I appreciate that worry. I'm a worrier like you guys and girls, but if he's medically cleared, that's it. There's no more to the point. Like, if he'd broken his arm again tonight, it would have been irrelevant to him having a broken arm last week. Like, it's just, you got to put some trust, not blind faith, but trust in some of these people who it's their life to get this right. And I'm talking about the doctors. I'm talking about the coaches. They're not going to muck around with these guys. If you think Craig Fitzgibbon's going to muck around with a guy's health, you need to look again. Tim says, errors and penalties killed us. Piggybacks set after set. Hines looked good. Trindle and him need to combine more. Less tucking blokes under and back to create something different. Yeah, good point, Tim. I love all that. I agree with all of that. There was a lot of inside balls, a lot of tucking back under. It just wasn't that creative on a pretty dry night. Chris says we were refed out of the game from the start, played catch-up footy, pushed passes that weren't there. The captain challenge from the Rooster was laughable. I rewinded it back. Here we go, 21 seconds, which is even, that's less than what I had it at, but it's still 11 seconds over what it should be. But I'll completely take your word for it, Chris. Thank you for doing that research. Again, SharkCast pod audience, the greatest podcast audience in the entire world, no matter what the genre is, whether it's sports, science, sharks, NRL, mental health, what else? So many podcasts, left, right, and center, and you guys and girls are the best. Look at that. Chris, well done. Congratulations. And thank you. Brad, this is funny. I think it's funny. Brad says, I'm a passionate Sharks fan, but even I would have loved Marky Mark to put one on Ronnie's chin. Too much rubbish in his game, and Arabian is back to his brain explosions. Can't be unhappy with the effort. Generally had a go, but it wasn't our night. Oh, discipline. I thought that Jesse Ramian had some good stuff, and I thought he had some bad stuff, to be fair. I don't continue to agree with you about Ronnie and what you've written here. It just made me laugh, and I appreciate the humor attached. I think that it'd be rich for me to say he pushed it too far and be really adamant about it. Like, I agree. I think that he did. Like, hand on my heart, I think that he pushed it too far. But that's what he does. So I can't complain when he gets it wrong, when I don't complain when he gets it right, you know? Danny says, can people stop blaming the spine? It was not the issue tonight. Thank you. Although Pete says, except for the field goal last week, Trindle was pretty average for most of the game. And we have a special guest calling in, which I love. From parts unknown, weight unknown, Mitch. Yeah.
Parts unknown, Daisy Avenue, mate, just crawling.
Yeah, right.
Crawling on my way home.
This is what I love. This is why we have post-game. Aside from catching up with everyone and having analysis, I love the people who are at the ground and they get in their cars and they call us. What's going on, Mitch? How'd you see it?
Look, a bit of a bland performance, and I just don't think our forwards established any foothold in the game at any stage. And we played no football down in the Roosters red zone. Well, not enough.
What was it like being there with the whole world against Ronaldo Militalo? How was that vibe?
Oh, he played the wrestling heel tonight, didn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah. Look, I love the guy. He's always on the edge. So, yeah. He lost the contest tonight. He lost the belt to Marky Mark tonight, if we're doing wrestling parlance.
He did.
He did. But hopefully there's a round 3 at some stage later in the year.
Yeah, I agree. Tell me what you liked out there. What did you like from Sharks tonight? Or who did you like? Give me some positivity before we go somewhere else.
Well, it was just a comment on Blake didn't have the greatest game. I think that's what he's done out there tonight. He 40 something tackles and 2 missed, and I don't think he got exposed at all. And his bravery always astounds me, mate. Since he's first coming to first grade, and, he's back 3 weeks after a broken arm, and he's out there, doing what he does every week when he turns up for us.
Yeah, it's a good point. I noticed when he tackled, it must have been Spencer Lenu, who had just been on the field, and that's when I looked at him and went, "Yeah, you're pretty brave. You're only a little dude, and you got a broken arm.
Yeah.
It's tackling something like that, which is like it's second nature. Like, oh, here he comes, tackle." I thought he was good tonight. Like, I didn't think I appreciate he didn't run that much, but I really don't think it had anything to do with the arm. I just think we couldn't get that go forward from the forwards, unfortunately. Jesse Colquhoun with a bit of a quiet night, although I don't know how many minutes he played, to be fair. I thought probably our best forward was Teague Wilton. I thought he tried hard, made some good meters.
He was on a few crash balls there, and it just, one, he just marched through there in the second half, but Roosters seemed to have us covered on the edges there tonight.
Yeah, for sure. What was the vibe like out there?
Look, I was just saying to the people I was there with at the game, it was great to be there on a, Sunday night. There was 20,000 people there. It was good.
Yeah. Is that
it's a great stadium?
Your first time there, or?
No, I've been there for our 2 semis we've had there for the South and the Cowboys semis, so it wasn't my first time there. Mate, I think the place is great. Fantastic. How lucky are the Roosters that that's their home ground, I guess.
Yeah, for sure. What was the parking situation like?
I parked in the dusty car park, out in front of the Horden there.
Oh, right. They still do that. Oh, got me, Mitch?
Oh, you got me?
Yeah, you're back.
I didn't
know the dusty car parks was still a thing.
Yeah, well, that's $30 in there, mate. Still.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah. I was going to park in the entertainment quarter, and then I was like, I'll try that one. It was closer. I thought, it's not as far to walk, probably. I don't know.
And what was the representation like there? On TV, it looked like there was some Sharks fans there. Is that a fair description?
Yeah, there was. And I got there quite early. Like, I'll tell you about my game day experience quickly. I was lucky enough to be there as a guest of a SCG member.
Mm-hmm.
And mate, did you know about this like exclusive gym they have there? This sporting club.
No.
It's nestled in between the SCG and Allianz. It's called the Sporting Club of Sydney.
Yeah.
And like, I was lucky enough to get access to there. So I met. My ticket was basically through a friend of a friend. And he said, "Get in there early, mate. We'll go into the sporting club." I'm like, "Oh, okay. Well, what's this place?" Go in there. It's got a 50-meter lap pool, 25-meter indoor pool, big gym, sauna, spa, cold plunge, infrared sauna, steam room, childcare center, wellness center. It's some exclusive gym, essentially, facility. And
who's it for? Sorry, who's it for?
Well, I think priority is given to SCG and trust members, I guess.
Okay.
Yeah, and it's I obviously had a visitor pass for the day, and mate, I was having a dip and doing some laps in the pool and having a steam before the game. And I'm like, what is this place? There's beautiful change rooms and facilities and towels provided at reception when you walk in.
Did you have to borrow some togs or something? What was it?
Oh, I packed for it. My mate said, "Hey, bring your swimmers. We're going to go in the heated pool before the game."
Well, I mean, there were rumors, and they're totally not come true now. But there were rumors that we were going to get a lap pool or a spa or something up on near the roof of the new leagues club, looking over the field. Now it's not happening anymore, so let's not talk about it. But I noticed our friend Cleve on the X mentioned it this week. So that's about as close as that as you're getting, my friend, as a Sharks fan.
I think structurally that wasn't going to work, but let's steer it in the direction of the Sharks. Like,
Please.
This is what we should be aiming for. Something like this, a facility like this, for our players to be using, and then for our members to have access to, should they want to join up to something like this.
Yeah,
and it won't be on the scale of what I saw today, because some taxpayer dollars went into this facility, I'm sure. We're not the beneficiaries of that sort of funds at this stage, but doesn't mean we can't be, and doesn't mean we shouldn't be aiming to have what we're calling an elite training center or academies or whatever they're building for everyone else. We should be lobbying hard for something like this ourselves.
What did you make of the Leagues Club video that was released this week?
I can see the vision there. It looks promising. Yeah. I work in the hospitality sector, and I can see what they're trying to achieve there. I'm very open-minded to what they're going to be doing there.
Back to the game, we lack some forward power. Now, can you put that down to anything? Like, why would that be?
You touched on it just now. Look, maybe it was a tough trip to the Warriors, and that was a knock them down, drag them out, skull drag of a game. So maybe we've got a bit of a hangover from that. But they had players backing up from big minutes in Origin, and they didn't seem to be affected by that. So
that's a good point. That's a really good point that you make. I didn't forget about.
Yeah, we can't sit there and claim. Yeah, we can't sit there and claim Warriors killed us and we had 8 days and they had blokes backing up 4 days later.
Yeah, that's a great point. Great effort tonight, Mitch, getting out there and having a bit of a dip and a swim. What was the food situation like? Did you have some catering? What's the deal there?
Oh, yeah, well, they had a cafe in that place as well, the Sporting Club of Sydney.
Yeah.
There's a cafe in there, and you could order at the table and they bring it out for you. And and then I was up in the members area for the game. So the bar and food situation up there was great. Toilet situation was great. Everything was great. I was on the 40-meter line. I was sitting right below our coaches' boxes, essentially.
Oh, how good.
Yeah. Oh, I was very, very lucky. Like, my mate of a mate is obviously, he's a good guy. Shout out to Mark and my mate Janzi for teeing it up.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome. I can't believe you went for a dip before the game. That's unbelievable.
That's crazy. I punched out 10 laps in the pool, mate. Got the goggles on. Went for a gentle little 10 laps, 500 meters.
Wow. I can't think of anything worse. That's amazing. All right, Mitch, thanks for calling in. I really appreciate it.
You're not a seafarer, Sammy.
No, it's not that. It's not that. It's more just, it's not a pre-game ritual, do laps. You know what I mean? That's all.
Well, for the people in the eastern suburbs, it is, mate. Like, we just, we're not elite enough down here in the Shire.
I don't.
They go in and have a nice sauna and a steam.
Yeah, I mean that's getting closer to what I could do. I reckon. Was there a spa there?
Oh, there was a spa, cold plunge. Yeah, mate. You name it, they had it.
Cold plunge. I could do a hot spa. That would be more my alley.
They were right next to each other, so you could jump from one to the other.
Yeah, nice. All right, Mitch, safe travels, my man. Plunge, it was cold. Safe travels. We'll talk to you soon. Really appreciate you dialing in, and take care. And we'll be back before you know it. So you take care. And we'll talk to you soon.
Cheers, mate. Can't wait to get it back to our home ground, though.
Yeah,
love
absolutely. The great cold plunge that is Ocean Protect Stadium. So talk to you soon, Mitch. Thanks, brother.
Cheers, Sammy. Have a good night, mate.
You too. That's the great Mitch, one of our loyal listeners. Now, there's a bunch of comments here I need to get to. Yes, there is. Here we go. Stick Death 1980 says, I'm an ex-player. I think we have good weeks, bad weeks, and the click wasn't there this week. Tricky. Had control last week. We didn't see it this week. All right. Thank you very much. And he also likes the hoodie. I appreciate that. It's a good hoodie. Jordan says, Hines is a big, big issue at this club, but doesn't say much else about that. So, Jordan, if you want to be more detailed, we can talk more about it. But I really didn't think that was the problem tonight, sir. But I'm happy for you to have your say. Craig says Klein didn't help, but we didn't help ourselves either. Brayley was clearly back too early, and the Nico tricky combo needs to end. Keep one and play them at 7 and bring a ball running 6 in. Both want to be generals, and a team doesn't work that way. All right. I don't know if Blake was back too early, Craig. I'd need proof as to why that was, or some reasoning, because I thought he played pretty good. He wasn't lights out, Blake, but again, when your props are making 86 meters and 71 meters respectively, I mean, they're not going forward, right? On the tricky Nico thing, so you say the combo needs to end, keep one, and bring in a ball running 6. There was some miscommunication tonight, but they hadn't played together for a little while. Maybe next game it gets better. All right. Wes says, although I'm not a fan of Ash Klein, he wasn't the reason we lost tonight. It was a weird game. Both sides were a bit boring. Thank you. Grunge Meister Fuzz, the greatest name in the world, says Tricky as game manager. Nico has a chance to be a real game breaker, but with both managing, who's breaking? Penalties are killer for sure, regardless of score. I love Ronnie getting up in Mikey's face. Yep. Yeah, it's a good point. If they're both managing who's breaking, it's a good point. Good point. Now, some negativity here from Sharks Let Me Down. Make the most of the bye. We won't beat the Dolphins and have no attack that can excite us. Yeah, okay. Well, we're playing the Dolphins in a little while. Not quite just yet. Kevin says, what was the penalty count, please? The penalty count, I think, was 9 penalties to 4. Sorry if that's a bit late there, Kevin. Susan says, Sharkies had an ordinary game. Let's stop the bitching. Have our buy and start up again. Up. Thanks, Susan. Yeah. No one's really bitching. I think everyone's just having their say, which is awesome. And I think that the buyers come at an okay time, I guess, because Nico and Brayley are back and we can work on that spine and the combinations and everything else. Although tonight I didn't really think that was the problem. Future Dude says, seems like the Chooks have been our bogey team as our flag side lost 22-18. The women lost their trial match and the Jets bucked the trend. With the trial match last night for the women's game, and it is on NRL.com if you want to go watch it, there was a lot of chopping and changing of teams. It was a trial match. So we looked all right with the main ladies on there from what I was watching. But, yeah, just keep that in mind. They didn't all play the whole game and that kind of thing. It was a trial match. But, yeah, good weekend for the Chookies mainly. Pete says, I'd love to know what tonight's game plan was considering a top 4 position was on the line. Yeah, it's a good point. It's a good point. Well, the game plan would have been, I think, to hold the ball and kick to the corners. And there were times when they did it. The times they looked pretty tenacious. Times when they looked like they were holding on. They didn't concede too much. And then they got back in the game. Like, it looked okay. It looked okay at times. And I think, was it Mick Ennis? Was it someone else who said it's a very Craig, might have been Greg Alexander, very Craig Fitzgibbon like past month, tough, gritty footy. And there were signs of that tonight until it kind of blew out. John says, I didn't watch the game tonight, but saw the highlight reel. Defense is hopeless instead of coming up in a line that kept backpedaling and can't tackle. To an extent, yeah. I mean, probably need to go back and watch all the tries and everything and analyze those in deep analytical form. But yeah, I wouldn't say defense is hopeless. Like, they repelled them quite a lot. but they gave him a lot of ball. Lush says, I went to the MCG on Wednesday and paid $80 for four Pines beers. $20 a beer? Yikes. Well, I got bad news for you, Lush. When you come in round 27, beers are on you again. Unlucky. Kevin points out they scored at least 2 tries from penalties. Jason says, g'day, Sam. After last week, it's disappointing result tonight. I hope we have a reset with our attack. Whether that's with the coach, Freddie, coming in after his rugby union commitments, finishing, or whether it's for next season. Too much passing left to right and right to left without engaging the defensive line. We have to ask more questions in attack. We don't get it done in the big games. Thanks, Jason. That's awesome. I appreciate that. I guess Freddie's coming in soon. So it'll be interesting to see what the changes are. And he's very well spoken of in Union World, in League World, particularly with the Cronulla camp. They were that impressed they wanted him to come back. So it's positive, but hopefully hits the ground running. Sharks let me down again is saying, who's our big name signing international outside back they're talking about that we're getting? The one they're probably hinting at is Joey Manu, but it's honestly, like I know Kieran and I joke about it on Mondays and Tuesdays, but it's probably not going to happen. So aside from Joey Manu, I'm not sure who they'd be referring to. If someone can refresh my memory, that'd be awesome. Sharks lose 27-8. Not happy, not happy, not happy, not happy. I am happy with everyone joining in, though. That is awesome. Thanks, everyone who's written in, tuned in. I'll give it a little plug before we continue on, and that is to share our podcast, our social content around. The more that tune in, the better. It's awesome that you all do. We're growing every week. It's a very positive place to be as far as the admin side of thing goes, but you can never have too many people listening or watching. If you could do a free subscribe, so it doesn't cost you anything but a push of a button on whatever podcast platform you listen to, whether it's Apple, Spotify, Podbean, Google, whatever it is, there'll be a word. It's subscribe, it's follow, whatever the word is. Click that and you'll get our episodes as soon as they pop up, and there's usually a fair bunch. And if you're on the socials, it's very easy to subscribe, follow, like us. You can share our things around, which is awesome and helps. On YouTube, you can follow us. So all that really helps us, and we appreciate it. Sharks lose 27-8. Not happy about that. And let's look at some individual performances here from the Sharks. I'd love to know what you guys think of these people as we go along. And we do podcasts throughout the week. So if you're not subscribed and listening throughout the week, I don't know what you're doing, but you should be doing that because that would be awesome for us and hopefully awesome for you. Will Kennedy at fullback, about 130 run meters and one error, which was very noticeable. And probably not his best game of the year, that's for sure. Certainly off in places. But yeah, a slight down of a game for Will, but I'm sure people out there hating on him. I don't think it was that bad. As my friend Aaron, who was on the show this week, sends me a photo of his dad. So Wally, who's on our show whenever the Roosters are on, and he's my colleague, Wally. His dad is a Roosters fan. I'm just going to put him up here. Look, there he is in all his gear on the train. So I don't know what happened to Wally there. Sione Katoa. Let us know what you thought of Sione. There is the battle between him and Stone Street. I saw Stoney scored at least one try in Cup today. Stoney did play Cup, for those who didn't know. Katoa, over 100 run meters, 5 tackle busts, 1 offload. Some dirty work getting out of our own territory, which I quite liked. And 1 error as well, 1 try. Set up beautifully by, I think it was Nico Hunt. Jesse Ramien, 115 meters, 2 offloads, 1 tackle bust, 14 tackles, 1 error. I thought he was okay. He was hit and miss. I didn't think he was diabolical. KL Iro, 130 meters, 2 tackle busts, 1 offload, 16 tackles, 3 misses. Penalty conceded, 2 penalty conceded for Jesse Ramien, I should say. KL, a little bit off, particularly with that first try, and he's got to get his one-on-one tackling better because he's a really good defender. He's just got to make it happen. So Ronaldo Miltalo, very heavily involved. He still was busy, but unfortunately conceded 3 errors, 2 penalties, at least 1 try, and conceded 1 try. He scored a try too, to be fair, with a great pass from Trindle at halftime. We've spoken a lot about Ronnie, so if you didn't hear it before, I thought discipline-wise he just took it a step too far, but I'm not able to complain about that too much because he does that, we win. He does that, and we lose. So you take the good with the bad. Braden Trindle ran 4 times for 40 meters. He kicked 12 times for 350 compared to Nico's 8 for 240. So they're both, close to even there, both involved kicking-wise. Trindle had 1 try assist. It looked a little bit clunky at times. I thought the effort was there. Hines, I thought, was the better half. He had 2 line break assists, 1 try assist. He ran for more meters over more runs. So slightly more involved. But again, not sort of where we need him to be. But I didn't think the halves were the problem, but the attack was a little clunky at times, and that's their responsibility. Fanua Blake, we've sort of discussed, didn't crack 100 meters, didn't miss a tackle. He did play 9 minutes of Origin, which doesn't factor in too much, but the whole Origin experience probably takes something out of you somewhat, of course. But that's no excuse. He was just not the dominant forward he usually is. Blake Brayley tonight I thought was decent. Made 40 tackles and just didn't have the go forward from the forwards to sort of hit that line of running. Admire the hell out of him. One of my favorite players, and perfectly happy for him to come back. And it's not related to State of Origin. People sort of think he wants to play Origin 3. Well, yeah, of course he does, but he's a Shark through and through. He's a Sharks captain, and that's what he was doing tonight. Jesse Colquhoun, just over 70 meters, 32 tackles to be fair, and he probably wasn't a very dominant game from Jesse Colquhoun, unfortunately. Britton Nickera ran for 50 meters, made 42 tackles, the most in our club today, didn't miss one. So you can't say the effort wasn't there in defense. Off a full game of Origin, so it's admirable. Teague Wilton, close to our best tonight, 120 meters, 4 tackle busts, 2 offloads, 1 line break, and 36 tackles. McInnes with almost 40 tackles. Only 5 runs for 40 meters. A lot more kind of handling of the ball. Not overly dominant tonight at all, McInnes. Billy Burns, I thought, was okay. He brought the mongrel when we needed it. Probably just not enough of it. Did concede a penalty. Had 1 error in him, I think, as soon as he came on the field. But I like him there, and it just wasn't his night, wasn't our night. Oregon Gafusi did not make the field tonight. Talakai made the field. He tried hard, ran for about 60 meters without much luck on the end of those runs. Tall Tom Hazelton, about 80 meters, 16 tackles, tried hard. However, Puru didn't get much of a chance to do much, ran for 25 meters, 12 tackles, and tried hard with some line engagements and that kind of stuff. And Mawini Harotti did not make it onto the field. So get in touch with the SharkCastPod@gmail.com. Let us know about who you thought was good, who you thought was not good, why, what will you do with them. I want to hear from you guys and girls about everything. So drop us a line via the email, via the website, sharkcast.com.au, sharkcast.com.au. You can leave a voicemail, you can leave just an email, and you can drop us a message on all the socials. That's what's going on there. Sharks lose, unfortunately, 27-8. And now we are down to position number 8. And it's the end of the round. We finish in 8th on 20 points. Next week we go up to 22 with the bye, which in theory, if everyone else falls over and falls down, will be equal second, but equal third, I should say. But we know that the bye, it's a third bye, so it's a bit of a false hope there at 6 points we didn't really earn, so to speak. So a lot of work to do. The season's still very much alive, but we need more improvement than tonight. Tonight was just, discipline-wise, just out the window. We know we've got it in us to play that way, unfortunately, but like last week was amazing. And if they played it last week tonight, we would have won by a bunch. So wasn't meant to be. Sharks lose 27-8. What a weird night. What a weird game. And we'll start to wrap up if no one else has too much more to say on the game, on the club. Let me know what you thought of the Leagues Club video. I thought it was pretty cool. I'm looking forward to having a cocktail and a pizza, I can tell you. Woo. So we've got the bye. Lush says, I will say the season is still wide open. There are so many teams vying to be smashed by those mongrel Penrith Panthers in the grand final. Well, they did lose to the Titans. That was pretty cool. Yeah, I take your point. It could be anyone's grand final appearance. Lush, let's look at the next run for the Sharks. We've got the bye this week. Then we have Brisbane away. So Saturday week, Brisbane on the 4th of July, 7:35 kickoff. Boy, those Americans really got under my skin this week. Dolphins the week after on Saturday, the 11th of July. It's a 3 p.m. game. Lush is going to tip us against the bye. That's awesome. Then we come home finally on a Friday the 17th of July. We play the Knights. It's a 6 o'clock kickoff. That'll be a lot of fun. And the Knights are pretty good, so it's not an easy win as usual. And then we go to Brookie on a Sunday at 4 o'clock. Bunch of Sundays coming up. Then we got Sunday at home against the Bunnies. Derby Part 2 on a Sunday, away at the cesspool known as Cogra. I did hear a rumor that I heard somewhere that the Dragons are not going to be playing at their home grounds. They're going to be moving elsewhere. They're not going to be playing at Cogra or Wollongong. So that's, forevermore. I heard that rumor. That's what a person on a podcast should not say. I heard a rumor the Dragons aren't doing this or that. Lucius, it's our big run. It's now or never. 10 games left to make our mark. Yeah, I don't like being in this position, Lucius. I like being ahead of where we want to be, and we're not there, unfortunately. And we've been pretty blessed under Fitzgibbon to be in pretty good positions. Not dissimilar to this, but probably better in a bunch of the years. But, if they're good enough, they'll get there, right? So we've got Brisbane next. Brisbane aren't very good. They are the premiers. And it's Suncorp, but they're not very good. So that means they're beatable. Let's just go win, hey? One game at a time, baby. John says, unfortunately, things don't seem to be getting better. We seem to be plodding along. The Dolphins are showing how to play forwards, running hard and straight, and halves moving the ball wide. Well, on your second point, John, the Dolphins are killing it. They're on a really great streak, and bless them, and we play them soon. So we better rise to the occasion. I don't know if I would agree to say things aren't getting better. We're plodding along. We just won 4 in a row. We're all on a bit of a high, and we're now back to a bit of a step back. So, yeah, it's not fun. As our friend Jacqueline said, 1 step forward, 2 steps back sometimes. And it feels like that. And I think that's sort of your point, John. But things weren't going along too bad. But just tonight wasn't really happening. Now, here we go. This is really important from our friend Lewis, who is just an upstanding young man. I love Lewis so much and his family. Lewis says, frustrating night, but footy aside, huge shout out to both the Sharks and the Roosters for going above and beyond for a mate of ours fighting MND. Both this week and at the game tonight. They won't post about it, but it's the rugby league community at its best. It really puts things in perspective. Grateful we're able to share in the love of this great club each week. Man, Lewis, you just always hit it out of the park. You're such a great dude, and I love you, man. And thank you for bringing reality back to all of us, because it is just footy. I know it's not just footy, but you know what I'm saying. So on the MND stuff, it's just shocking, and I'm so sorry to hear that your friend has it, and send my love and shoot me a message if there's anything I can do to help. But that is what the community is about, especially rugby league community. And we know that next week is also the Mark Hughes Foundation weekend. And on this show, we're going to be talking to a Sharks family who are doing a lot of charity work in that field, because unfortunately their son went through some really bad things and thankfully seems to have come out okay-ish for the moment, which is great. So that's what the community is about. And glad you had a good night, Lewis. Hope your friend had a great night. And it's really, I love the fact that you said that they're not going to post about it, and they should post about it. Like, they should be proud of their achievements with spreading love around the community. Thanks, Lewis. Hope you're well, man. Hope the little one's all right. Mitch, who we spoke to before, says, I made a new shark friend tonight. Shout out to Paul. That's a positive. Absolutely. Hey, Paul. I hope Paul's listening. Now, Mitch, one of the things we ask people to do is when you meet other Sharks fans, you go, do you listen to SharkCast Pod? And if they don't, you set them up on their phone or whatever to have a listen. So, Mitch, if you have Paul's number, get him to tune to SharkCast Pod if he's not already, because a lot of people do tune in, which is wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. That's what's going on. And we do have a bye week. We're officially in bye week, but we're not going away. We're here to bug, and we're here to persist with this club that we love. And as I mentioned, we're going to be talking to Adam, who's a Sharks longtime member. You've already seen him on other podcasts, and you've seen him in the media and through sharks.com.au, spreading the word about the Mark Hughes Foundation and for things in that general vicinity. His son had a battle and a half, and the family therefore has as well. Adam's going to come on the show early in the week, and we're going to have a chat. And then it's not all going to be gloom and doom. It's going to be about what we can do to help, and his life as a Sharks fan as well. So we'll make it footy central, but also very much about helping the Mark Hughes Foundation. So we'll tell you all about that during the week, and we'll do our other shows where we can. There'll be a Kieran show, I hope. There'll be a flagship, the whole thing. So stick with us, SharkCast Pod. We love what we do. We love doing it for you guys and girls. Up Cronulla. We didn't rule the world tonight, but we rule in general. And it wasn't our night. We weren't disciplined enough tonight, my friends. Sharks lose, and I'm not happy. We will talk to you soon, early in the week, most likely. That reminds me, I forgot it was bye week, and I told someone I couldn't do something between 3:40 and 4:45 because I'm doing a live podcast, but there probably won't be a live podcast because there won't be any teams. Or will there be a live podcast? Will we throw caution to the wind and just talk to you guys and girls? I don't know. Probably not. NRLW starting soon. Make sure you're all over that. Let me get you some information right now. We did lose a trial match last night, but it's just a trial match. It doesn't really matter at all. Sharks' first game is the first game of the NRL season, NRLW season, Thursday, July 2nd, 7:45 p.m. The Knights are coming to town. Ocean Protect Stadium, 7:45, Thursday, 2nd of July. It will be on the television networks and everything, but you can go down and watch the game. And there's different ways you can get a ticket. It doesn't cost you the world, and it's a really good vibe. It's kid-friendly and a lot of fun, NRLW. So make sure you head out there. Our first two games, in fact, are at home. Round 1, Thursday, 2nd of July. Round 2, Thursday, 9th of July, 7:45 kickoffs on Thursdays. Are we getting into school holiday territory there maybe as well? Maybe. So that'll be coming up before you know it. We'll be talking about this on the podcast. John says, as always, appreciate your efforts and commitment to this podcast. Namaste. Thank you, John. Appreciate you. And this is kind of what I do. It's a lot of fun, and it helps me emote. And tonight kind of wasn't fun watching that game, and then doing this has been a lot of fun. And talking to you guys and girls, and it's going to be okay. I don't know when it's going to be okay, but it's going to be okay. And hopefully it'll be okay against Brisbane in 2 weeks' time. Thank you, though, John. I appreciate that. We get a lot of messages, kind words. It has been brought up because I brought it up that we've had a few negative people in recent times just kind of jabbing away and trying to get a rise out of me. And it's, it's not going to be tolerated. So it's all okay. I'm a big boy and it's all cool, but I definitely appreciate the good words. So thanks so much, John, and everyone else. We're getting out of here. SharkCast Pod's getting out of here. Up Cronulla. I can't play the songs we didn't win. I don't know how we're going to exit this podcast. Do you want me to do a song? I've got a guitar here. No one wants that. I was just kidding. I wouldn't do it anyway. But we'll be back before you know it. Up Cronulla. And let's just go out with, no, I can't go with that one either. We'll just say goodbye. Why don't we just say goodbye? John says good night. Thank you. Brendan says, thanks, Sam. Disappointing night. The boys will bounce back. They're too good of a team not to. I'm off for some Springsteen therapy. Oh, that's what's missing from my weekend, Brendan. Some Springsteen therapy. Enjoy what's left of your weekend, Sam. Thanks so much, Brendan. Appreciate you. Springsteen. That's what we need. That's what we need. We all need Springsteen in our life. You don't believe me? It's true. Up Cronulla. Thank you so much. Up Cronulla. Thank you so much. Up Cronulla. You hang up. No, I hang up. See you. Bye.